My self-sufficient farming life is coming along nicely.
I'm very excited about getting these. The first real livestock on the farm, I guess.
My mates, Nick and Ross, have helped me find my feet selling artisan products from local produce.
We've got comfy pork belly, pork shoulder and pork sausages. Cheers, thanks for that.
Although I have realised turkey farming is not for me.
These just kind of...
You've kind of got a communication problem with your turkeys.
Yeah.
But I do feel like something is missing. My name is Matthew Evans. I was Sydney's most feared food critic. Now, I've given up city life and moved here to country Tasmania. I've always dreamed of producing my own food so I can know and trust what I eat. The only problem is, I don't know how to chop wood, I don't know anything about growing plants, and I have absolutely no idea about rearing animals. But I do know how to eat. Everything else I'll have to learn from scratch. How hard can it be? Having a cow to milk has been a dream of mine for as long as I can remember. Today, that dream comes true. Andrew Cameron is the bloke who supplies the free-range pigs for my market stall, but he's also got a Jersey cow. Maggie and her daughter Coco are for sale.
Jersey?
Yeah.
She's a stud Jersey from Hayden Dream, which is just the other side of Sydney.
That'll do. Ah, yes.
And after a bit of tussle getting them off the truck, they seem to take to my farm straight away. It's one thing to have a dairy cow on the farm, but it's quite another thing to milk her. It's early morning and I'm going to give Maggie, the Jersey cow, a milk. I managed to keep her calf Coco off last night, but both of them have been mooing since about 2 this morning. I guess missing each other, slightly distressed. The calf's probably hungry. Anyway, wish me luck. See if I get some milk. Hey, Maggie. Good girl. So I've got feed at one end. She'll come across this way. I've got bucket. I've got some jelly stuff to keep my hands moist. And I've got a stool. So I think that's all you need to milk a cow, isn't it? Let's see how we go. Come on, Maggie. This is amateur hour in the milking shed. Whoop. I can't get anything, whether it's me or the cow. I'm not getting anything here. I can't get a single drop out of her. And I've got cold hands, so I wouldn't be giving me a drop either. But... Hey! A dribble. Whoa. Whoa, 2 drops. You've got to be quick. Whoa, 2-handed. I'm feeling absolutely terrified. This is a really big animal, and I'm not doing a very good job of milking her quickly. But gradually, I am getting better. There we go. Come on. Come, Maggie. That's it. Come, Maggie. Good girl. Come on, Coco. I'm really lucky. I've got a Jersey calf with a calf at foot, so in some ways I guess we're stealing from the calf, but we're not actually. The cow will make more and more milk depending on how much we take as well, so look at them trying to suckle as her mum walks off. Well, it was a shaky start, but I've actually got myself enough milk, still warm from the udder, for my porridge and a little more to spare. This is a bucket, well, a 15th of a bucket of the most beautiful raw milk. Now, this differs from the milk that you can buy because it's Jersey milk, so most comes from a different sort of cow these days. It's raw milk, it hasn't been pasteurised and it's never going to be pasteurised. And it's still warm from the cow. Beautiful. Just make sure we get rid of most of the greelies. The law in Australia requires that all milk sold be pasteurised, which means heating it to about 70 degrees to kill bugs and to make it safer to drink. But some people reckon pasteurisation also kills flavour and nutrients, making raw milk like this a rare treat. And go straight in for the kill.
highly illegal. You can't have any. I can't sell it. I can't buy it. But that's milk at its most pure. Oh, Jesus, that's great.
Great.
My mate Nick Haddo has been helping me settle into the Tassie life. He's an expert cheesemaker, and after a week of early mornings improving my milking technique, he's coming over to give me a crash course in the fine art of cheesemaking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great. How you go?
Yeah, good, good. Hey, I've got something to show you. Oh, this is today's milk.
Oh, wow.
And
Is that it?
Yeah, well, is that it? Hey, I'm doing well. Yeah, I'll wait till you try this, mate. You'll love it. I've got some in the fridge. I've got about 3-4 days in the fridge.
Yeah.
It's absolutely chock full of cream. What I was thinking is that you might be able to show me how to make a raw milk cheese.
I'll show you how to make a mature cheese. It'll be beautiful.
Yeah, all right.
I've stockpiled nearly 15 litres, which is enough to make a couple of raw milk cheeses.
Right.
This should make a bit of room in your fridge.
We'll save some of the cream for later and heat the remaining milk.
We'll warm it up to about...
According to Nick, cheese making is a simple yet precise process, using a culture to add flavour
Do we just mix it in? Or?
Yeah, just stir it.
and rennet to set the milk into curds.
So we'll just pour all that in. That means it's ready to cut. And you can feel how firm that is.
Then the curds are cut,
Well, that's lovely.
warmed,
Try and get as much whey out of the curd as possible.
and voila, we've got curds and whey, just like in the nursery rhyme.
We're going to make one out of those two.
Yeah, that'll be a bit smaller.
The curds are then scooped from the whey into moulds.
The curd's gone, for want of a better expression, slightly rubbery, so you can actually feel that instead of being really silken, like it was before, almost like silken tofu, but even softer, now you can actually feel it's got a bit of resilience. It actually bounces back a little bit when you press it.
So you can see why we turn it, just to give it a bit of shape.
Being a smaller cheese, it'll mature faster.
Yeah, it will. So that, you'd be able to eat that, I reckon, in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Great.
While the cheese is draining, we can also whip our cream into butter,
Wow.
Look at that.
which leaves behind buttermilk that I can use in my scones, and turn our leftover whey into ricotta in a process that's almost magical.
We'll add about a handful of salt. Then we'll bring it up to about no less than about 92. Add some vinegar, and then almost instantly the protein will start to float to the surface.
Wow, look at that. It's still a little bit warm into it, just with a drizzle of honey, I think.
So not a bad afternoon's work. Got about 5 kilos of cheese, a bowl of butter, buttermilk for your scones, and a big thing of ricotta.
Ricotta. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Mm.
And it's 90% about texture, isn't it? It's soft. A gentle sweet milkiness, not sour. Wisps of things that flit across the mouth. We've just eaten warm ricotta, made in the farmhouse from the cheese that we're making with the milk from that cow, and we're about to have butter that's made from the cream from the same cow. It's bloody remarkable. The scones that I knocked up
Using buttermilk
using buttermilk
made from the butter.
made from the butter. We pretty much used everything. Well, I'm going to have it without any jam first. Go.
So light and clean, isn't it?
Yeah, and sweet.
And sweet.
But if you say sweet, it makes it sound like it's sugar sweet, but it's, I don't know, clean sweet.
We've left the cheeses draining overnight, and the final stage is brining them in salt water.
So these two big ones, I reckon we'll leave in there for about 48 hours.
Yep.
But the small one, maybe about 12 hours.
Oh, that's all. Lid on, or
Oh, yeah.
easy?
Cool. Let's go find a spot.
The cheeses need a cool, humid place to sit for a couple of months, and Nick reckons the picker's hut on the corner of my property is just the place.
Fantastic.
2 days later, my cheeses have finished brining, ready to mature.
These, with any luck, be ready in a few months' time. This way, Mags. Good girl. Come on, Mags. Good girl. This way. Who'd have thought 2 years ago that today I'd be walking a cow on the end of a rope? Maggie. A few weeks into milking, and Maggie's looking a little on the skinny side, with more ribs showing than I can remember. With the grass in my paddock thinning out, I'm wondering if her diet is lacking. So despite a few odd looks from the neighbours, I've taken to walking her down the lane to some greener pastures. That's it, Mags. Who'd have thought 2 years ago that today I'd be walking a cow on the end of a rope? But this green patch won't last forever. So to find a long-term solution, I'm heading north to the legendary organic dairy, Elgar Farm. By following organic principles, they produce the most delicious dairy products available, and some say keep the happiest cows in the world. This is gorgeous. Tell me how long have you lived here?
23 years now.
Yeah.
23 years, yeah.
Where did you come from?
Germany, originally from Bavaria, southern part of Bavaria, actually.
Yeah. I mean, you're fully organic. The whole place is
Fully
organic.
organic, yeah.
Joe Gretschmann's farm is completely different to a conventional dairy, and the cows seem to benefit right from their first day. Instead of separating mothers from calves, Joe lets them suckle as long as they need.
They're very good mothers, you know. The cows know exactly how to care for a calf.
Yeah.
So we let the calf drink on her and then we'll milk her.
Yeah, because most dairies, don't they take the calf off
Separate them and then they have
straight away.
They have all those troubles, you know, because they work against nature, so to speak.
Yeah.
The cow licks it, you know, cleans it. As well as that, the calf actually will stimulate the milk flow on the cow, because the more you milk it, the more often the calf will suckle, the more milk you have.
more milk
actually.
it produces.
Yeah, the more milk is produced. Look at her udder, you know, we've just milked her in the morning.
It's already full.
And it's starting to already fill again. You see the veins in there?
That's a good sign, the veins?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good sign, yeah.
Yeah.
But look at the calf, you don't need to do anything, you know, no medication, no nothing.
No, nothing.
Yeah, no nothing.
And the other end of life is not too shabby either.
Just want to ask about this one.
Yeah.
Mine hasn't got, like, udders down, like...
Yeah, well, that's because she's very old. Look,
Apparently.
she's 20 years.
Oh,
Old.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens to the old...
We keep it.
Should I ask?
Yeah, of course you can ask.
Well, you know.
can. No. Look, it's what it is. It's one of the things with dairy farming. You have
You have old cows that are eating
you have
the
old
grass.
cows, and people sell old cows. We don't. We have in retirement.
You let them die of old age?
Yeah. Can you milk a cow 20 years and then give her a kick and get on a truck and?
No, well, I couldn't imagine.
There you go.
But
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's a different relationship, you know.
yeah.
So it's ecology, economy, and a little bit of love for the animals, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still don't know why my young cow is looking so skinny.
She looks body shape a bit closer to Maggie.
To make it, that's Donna.
But I'm worried about her because she's skinny.
But Joe assures me that a few ribs poking out has more to do with her lactation cycle than her well-being.
Different types of herbs.
What's most important to her health is the quality of the grass she feeds on. And this is my biggest problem.
Well, this is remarkable, all of this. I think my cows would be in heaven. My problem is that the grass I've got growing is about this long, and I don't think there's enough feed for...
Yeah. As a farmer, in particular as an organic farmer, you have to think really long-term ahead. If it's that short, that's a problem.
Yeah, it
it's
is
a big issue.
problem.
There's no doubt. That's a problem for the cow because she doesn't produce as much, but there's a problem for your pasture actually as well. Because now, when she nips it off all the time, you deplete all the nutrient reserves in the roots. That means you don't get the growth you actually could get.
Yep.
So that means when
To solve this, Joe suggests I divide my paddocks into different areas and rotate Maggie and Coco between them, giving the pasture time to recover between grazings. And to maintain healthy soil and promote diverse growth, Joe recommends sowing a range of grasses, feedstocks and legumes into the pasture.
pea, ryegrass, and sometimes a little bit of oats in there. It'll be oats.
And the payoff for all this work is more grass and healthier cows. Joe hasn't had to call a vet in more than a decade.
So if you manage this coming year, your pasture, next year you will see you have a lot more even growth, and the overall production will be a lot higher. It's just absolutely uncomplicated.
I'm going to have to take heed if I'm going to give Maggie the diet she deserves.
Well, we'll have a look at the cheesery
Yeah, that'd be
and
great.
see what we can make out of the milk.
Yep.
Yeah? Good.
The dairy business is a family affair for the Gretschmanns. with Joe's wife Antonia, and 3 of their 5 sons all working to produce this amazing range, from butter and cream to mascarpone and cheese. So you break every day when you're making cheese and just spread everything out like
every day.
Yeah.
I mean, by lunchtime you should have 80% of your work done. So in the afternoon, you know, Peter's out and it's more
You're relaxing in the evening.
How amazing. This really is the life.
I prefer it to butter, actually.
I don't know that I'll be knocking off at midday anytime soon, but the more I learn, the more I reckon I'm on the right track. Life's great when you get a cow. Yeah. I had turkeys. Yeah. My life didn't get a lot better having turkeys, but as soon as I got the cow, instant affection, instant rapport.
You would made a good choice then. Rather than a Frisian, I would have a Jersey for a house cow.
For a house cow, yes.
Getting up in the morning and milking her is just joyous.
Yeah.
You know, like you got your head sort of next to her and you
Yeah.
get the smell of
the smell.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing in the morning. And it warms my hands up too, which is great.
That's true.
Hope you got some lunch packed in that big bag of yours.
You have to do some work first. You have to walk.
My visit to Elgar Farm has brought me a long way from home, and it'd be a shame to head back without taking in some of Tasmania's stunning wilderness. I'm going to meet Nick at majestic Cradle Mountain, deep in the World Heritage Area, where hopefully we can get in a quick walk before sundown.
Hey, I didn't think you'd make it.
G'day, mate. It's snow.
No, it's a bit serious, isn't it?
Isn't it gorgeous?
It's brilliant. Such a great day.
Lovely. And now I'm going to grab a bag. Have you got stuff packed?
Yeah, I've just got back.
Where'd you go?
Up there,
Up there? Jesus.
Marion's Lookout.
That'll be cold.
There's still a few hours left, so I thought if we went up this way, up towards the crater, straight up, see up past those people up there.
That sounds great. Lovely.
Yeah, it's pretty steep.
Is it?
How are your knees going?
My knees are great.
Really?
Yep, my surgeon's been
You
paid.
signed off on them?
He signed off.
All right.
Hope you got some lunch packed in that big bag of yours.
You have to do some work first. You have to walk.
I can walk. Do I have to help cook?
I'm in awe at the peace and beauty of this place. How lucky to live so close to some of the world's most dramatic natural landscapes. Climbing mountains sure works up a healthy appetite.
Back on the road. Looks good. Very good. Look at the shingles and everything.
Come inside.
Hang on, watch out for traffic.
You hungry?
Yeah, very hungry.
A few minutes later, and Nick's unpacked a whole lot of goodies, but unfortunately, it looks like fondue is on the menu.
You don't like fondue?
No, don't like fondue, to be honest.
Well,
I think there's a reason why it died a death after 1973.
I reckon the secret to fondue is the same as anything. You just use the best ingredients you've got.
What are the best things? What are the ingredients?
Well, really
Garlic.
good cheese and really good wine.
Fondue, can you just use any cheese?
The type of cheese that would traditionally be used would be mountain-style cheeses, so like Gruyere, Comté. Cooked curd cheeses melt the best, and that's what makes a really good fondue.
Could I use cheddar?
You could, if you don't like fondue. Maybe this is where you've gone wrong.
I've never made one, so I wouldn't. You know.
Oh, really?
No.
You've got quite a strong opinion for someone who actually knows very little about the subject, don't you?
I used to be a restaurant critic. That's what you get paid for. Having a strong opinion about something you know nothing about. What a beautiful thing.
Isn't it great?
Lovely.
I use this so much. That'll do you.
That'll do.
Yep.
Right.
You're quick, aren't you?
I suppose you can deal in your stomach, isn't it? Not,
You're going to rub the pot with garlic.
what do I do? Just rub the pot?
Yeah, it's colder than your oven, mate.
We need a glass of wine.
Just tip that straight in there. Thank you. Lift the lid, see if we've got any bubbles. Whoa!
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty warm.
Despite the fact I'm pretty dubious about fondue, I'm getting rather excited about this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Well, look at it.
It's only because it's hot.
Moving fast now.
Well,
Too much?
no,
No, good.
Looks awful. Oh, it does. It looks like dishwashing liquid, like dishwashing water, with some strips of what could be a really bad commercial mozzarella in it. The sort of stuff they put on those really greasy pizzas. Oh no, it's coming together now. That's looking much better.
Nick's also adding a dash of corn flour dissolved in kirsch, a clear cherry liqueur, which should help with the consistency.
It's looking good. See how the corn flour just makes it go
A bit smoother.
Yeah.
Binds it all together. Oh, I think it's getting ready. Yeah. And I'm getting a bit hungry. This is good. I think this is one of the best ones I've ever made.
It'd want to be.
If you don't like this, in a place like this, then your credibility will be shot with me, mate. Now, given that we're outside and the top is going to be really cold and the bottom's going to be really hot, just give it a bit of a stir as you go through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really want to admit it to Nick, but it's bloody delicious.
Oh, that's not as bad as I expected. It's something hot, beautiful, delicious to eat. Really? It's really... Well, I must have always had fondue, maybe cheap cheese and cheap wine, probably. Whereas this is the best of both. I mean, if you lived in a place like this, you have to invent a dish like that, wouldn't you? You had the cheese and wine.
After a few mouthfuls, though, I'm starting to wonder what else is on the menu.
If you treat fondue as a cheese course, not as this is the only thing you're going to eat all day, that's how I think you should eat it. But not as a full meal, I don't think. I don't know if I could ever come at that. You know, if you heard in Tassie, we have a thing called the Hungry Patch.
What's that?
It's about now, when not much is growing.
Oh, yeah, right.
A whole bunch of things are finished. So last year's garlic has all been sold. There's very little left. The potatoes aren't up. You can't plant much. So it's this moment in time that they call the Hungry Patch. And this is sort of food you'd eat in the Hungry Patch.
Yeah.
Back on the farm, and Maggie's still in her hungry patch.
When I first got Maggie and Coco, there was quite tall grass through here, and I was thinking it might be enough to feed them, but little did I know that this girl can eat 15 kilos of dry food a day. She's eating it right down. So it was great to go to Joe's place up north and actually see what he's doing. You know, he's actually rotating the cows through the paddocks. Every 12 hours he takes the cows out of one paddock into the next. And that's what I need to do here. I need to get variety into the pasture, get a whole bunch of different species, and I need to actually get the cows rotated, so I'm going to have to divide it up to give this girl what she needs, so I can get really good milk out of her next time, next calf, and next year.
It'll be worth it in the long run, Maggie, to give you a long and healthy life, and keep me in milk and cheese and butter. Next time, we're on a Highland fling,
Ross is taking us feral deer hunting.
digging for buried treasure,
Probably the sexiest thing ever is smelling a truffle. Oh, it's great.
and waist deep in ice-cold serenity.
Pretty beautiful just being here.
It's good, isn't it?
Almost doesn't matter if we don't catch one. Almost.